How's that for an open? So this one, it's going to be A major. Nice easy beginner chord. I'm going to show you a few different ways to play it. So first up is going to be using these three fingers, your middle, ring, and pinky. So I'm going to put my pinky finger on the second fret of the B string. My ring finger is then going to go on the second fret of the G. And my middle finger is going to go on the second fret of the D. So those are the ones that we're fretting. And then I'm going to strum all the strings except for this low E. So I'm going to start on that A string, which is open, go across all of them. So that's one way of doing it. Another way that is super popular is you can use just one finger across. You're still getting the second fret of the B, G, and D strings with the open A. But with that, you don't get that open E sound because your index kind of ends up muting it. Because if you have your first finger down across all those, you're adding an F sharp in there, and that's kind of changing the chord a little bit. So that's another way of doing it with the first way, which is nice because you get that high E in there. And another way of doing that is with your index, middle, and ring finger. So basically what we were doing the first time, you just kind of scooch everything over. So now my ring finger is on the B string second fret. Middle finger's on the second fret of the G. Index is now on the second fret of the D. Or if you want, a lot of times people will switch your index and middle up. So my ring finger is still on the second fret of the B. My index is on the second fret of the G, and my middle finger is on the second fret of the D. So you kind of get that going on. Whereas the other way was these three, or those three, these three, and then you switch those up and you kind of get that going on. That one I never play with this. But I've noticed a few people with some thicker fingers that it's just easier for them to get the notes that way. And a lot of times that the chords are getting played down here, my thumb is wrapping up and over just to mute that low E string. So if I'm going crazy strumming, I'm actually hitting all the strings, but that one's being muted because my thumb's coming over from the top and just lightly touching the string to mute it. So yeah, that's A major. That's the first way I showed you. And the second way was this way, which is nice if you're kind of just hopping around between changes. But yeah, so first way, yeah, second way, this is the third way with your index, middle, and ring fingers, and then that fourth way. So they all sound the same. Well, most of them. The second one's going to sound different because you don't have that E in there, but That's your A major chord. Good one to start with. And yeah, so try avoiding the E string when you're strumming that. Because it's not the end of the world, but it is a different sound than that. It's not the end of the world because this E note is actually in the A chord. So your 3 notes to make your A major is your A, C sharp, and E. So your E's, you're just getting like a low fifth in there, which sometimes sounds cool. Kind of fills the chord out a bit. But try strumming just for the sake of practice, strumming and not hitting that string. So even with my thumb not meeting that E. And then once you get that down, you can try bringing the thumb over and going crazy with that. And yeah, learn a few different ways because you never know which way might be a little bit easier to switch to. Whichever of these works best for you. Definitely learn this as an option. But for me personally, I like this one. Just because the way the pinky, ring, and middle finger just kind of stack. It's a little bit nice and comfortable. Yeah, A major. Good stuff. So, rock on.